Are you ready to get wellness in your life? Are you concerned about the rising cost of health care and the access to health care services? Well, chronic disease that makes up a large portion of health care expense can often be avoided with early lifestyle changes, good nutrition, and smart choices. I'm Rebecca Marshall with the Salem Apothecary, and we're gearing up to help you get wellness in your life. So as we celebrate our 40 years on the historic Salem Square, we're including visits to historic businesses on the square with a chat about getting wellness. So today, let's talk. We're going to talk about hydration, and we're going to talk about heaven-sent gifts with John Trinkle. Hi, John.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
Okay. I'm just really excited to begin to celebrate my 40 years here.
Yeah, this is great for you.
But you've been on the square longer than I have.
Yeah, just a little bit. we came in '81, so it's been 44.
And so, tell me about how you got started.
Well, I went to Bedford to the Bible bookstore, and I couldn't find what I wanted, and I thought I've driven 30 miles each way. There needs to be something here, and I didn't think much more about it. And then I thought, there's no place between New Albany and Bedford for the people in Salem. I mean, we just need to present Jesus to the people here and have something. So I started praying about it, and there was a couple that showed up, and they were out of a job, and I thought, this would be great. I got 3 girls, none of them want to farm, so let's invest in a building, and let's put a Christian bookstore in, and they can run it, and that'll be fine. The best plans doesn't always work. But that's the way it started. And so bought the building from Chuck Kramer, and we started in '81, August 3rd of '81, and we didn't have any idea what we were doing. I still know nothing about retailing, except I don't know anything about retailing. But we did want to just present Jesus to the community and have a presence here. And so we wanted to do Bibles, we wanted to do books, we wanted to do music, gifts, that kind of thing. And so that's kind of how it got started. It got started out of a Bible study and my inability to get what I needed without driving a long way.
So, but you started out as the Bible bookstore, but
Yes.
Now you're heaven-sent gifts.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Oh, after we were in business for about 15 or so years, the girls said, Bible bookstore is an old name. We really need to upgrade. We need to have more gifts, and we need to emphasize on the gifts. So let's call it Heaven-Sent Gifts. So I thought about it a little bit, and I thought, these girls probably know what they're doing, and I don't. So we changed the name. It was that simple.
It was that simple.
Yeah.
So have you felt like the location has been a good place to be on the Salem Square?
I do. There's always traffic here because there's a bank, there's the courthouse, there's pharmacy, there's used to be more than there is now. H&R Bakery brings people in. I think we bring people in because we're specialty shop. So I think all of that works well. And so I thought about moving a couple of times. 1, I can't afford it, and 2, it probably wouldn't be a benefit to me. I think I'm better off right here where I'm at.
And you said you bought the building from Mr. Kramer.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember it being a music shop.
In 1963, I bought an Epiphone guitar from Chuck Kramer in that building. But I can go back farther than that.
Do you still play it?
I don't now because of the arthritis.
Okay.
But I did up until not very long ago. I had to reduce down to a 6-string to a bass where you just play with 1 finger, but I can't even do that anymore.
So in that building, besides being a music store, what else was there?
It was built in the 1890s by the same guy who built the Dome at French Lick. All these buildings around here were built by him. And so I don't know what happened, but I know in 1953, I was 6 years old, my dad took me into the hardware store, and we went downstairs, and I bought a bicycle, a 16-inch bicycle.
Uh-huh.
And so in 1953, it was a hardware store owned by a man named Picklehammer. Picklehammer's Hardware.
Wow.
Now, I think it was the hardware until Chuck bought it from him. And then Chuck had the music store there, and I bought it from Chuck in '81.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Chuck Kramer was he had a good business there. He provided a great service to the school.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I remember it. But there was also I remember the window upstairs used to have Etzler Insurance on it.
Yes, Jack Etzler had his insurance business in the front office, and then there was an apartment behind that. Now the women's ministry is the whole top floor. They provide a good service for women. Yeah, but Jack then was Jim Knapp, and it's Knapp Miller Brown now.
And now it's all that Miller Brown was a combination of several things.
Yes.
But yeah, I remember the Etzler the name up there. Yeah. But there's something else that's on the side of your building that's really local to Salem. And tell us about the mural.
The mural was painted over a summer by the Salem Art Department, and they tried to come up with historical and local things that they could put on the side, and that has been, I mean, it's been an attraction because people will say, hey, what's on the side of your building? What's it for? And I mean, it goes all the way back to basketball, to farming, to everything. I mean, even history or Secretary of State. Yeah.
That's all from all things that have to do with the history of Salem.
That's right. It's all history of Salem.
Yeah, it is really cool.
It's a great thing.
Is maintaining it an issue, or do you have to maintain that? Or I mean, it seems to have worn very well.
It has worn very well. The only thing I did was the only thing I paid for was putting a coating on it that was protective coating, and it's beginning to leave now, and I'm trying to decide, okay, do I go ahead and redo this? I probably should, but I'm not there yet, but it's not going to be very long.
But redo the protective coating
Redo the
part.
protective coating, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a great thing. And the art department, the kids did it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were out there. It was good.
I bet I bet that was a hot process too, because they did it over the summer.
The good part was it's on the north side of the building, and the sun never shines on the north side of the building. So if you stay close, but it was hot.
So where I'm leading to here is talking a little bit about our health issue for today, which is actually hydration. Okay. Of course, the good part for me, we were here at the Salem Apothecary then, was that the kids like to come over and get a drink here. Sure. Or some ice cream. But this summer has been really hard on a lot of us because of the high temperatures, and hydration is so important right now. You're a farmer too. How has the high heat and lack of water been for farming?
Well, at least there's been a lot of rain, but the heat and the humidity. I'm a golfer. My grandson got me started golfing. I just couldn't golf this summer because it's just too hot.
Yeah.
And I'm one who, if I don't make myself, I don't drink enough water. I'll drink something else. I'll drink coffee, or I'll drink juice or some kind. But you need water. So
absolutely.
I mean, I'm plugging.
You're giving me my lead in here
because I know how important water is, and especially when you get older. But it really is when you're younger too.
What we don't always realize is that our bodies are made up of over almost 60% water, and if you don't keep replenishing it, there's a lot of systems in our body that can't work. I had a gentleman, one of my customers in here this week, he was actually buying some Miralax, and so I said to him, well, so how much water do you drink a day? And he said, well, a couple of glasses. And I said, well, you really need to drink more than that. And I said, you probably need to drink about 8 glasses a day. And this look he gave me was just like, are you kidding me?
That's my weekly allowance.
And so then we had to have a discussion about that. But the thing is, we should be taking our weight in pounds and divide it by 2, and that's the number of ounces of water we should be drinking a day.
I didn't know that.
And so people think they drink enough water, but that's water that they drink. You can't count carbonated beverages.
No. They dehydrate you, actually, don't they?
And they can be really bad for you in long term and that kind of thing. So, but that needs to be water. You can drink, your coffee and your tea and other things, but the water, what your body needs is that water. And there are so many times when, when this summer we got into the 90 degrees, and people don't realize how quickly they can become mildly dehydrated. You get a little foggy. Sometimes, your eyesight might not be as good, particularly for us older people, as we sit here looking at a couple of young people behind the controls over here. But you can, the effects of mild dehydration can really affect you too.
I can get lightheaded.
Yeah, we need to be drinking water. We need to be drinking lots of water.
Yes.
Other things are fine to add on to that, but we need that water to get our bodies working. Well, what has been the biggest challenge to being a business owner on the square in Salem?
Well, maybe lack of intelligence in areas that I need.
That's not the kind of challenge I was talking more.
I know. My grandmother was born in 1877, and they were still talking about how bad it was Lincoln got shot. All the changes she saw, I thought, mercy, I will never see changes like that. Well, I've seen more changes since the World Wide Web came on than she saw. It's unbelievable.
Her whole life.
So to take any business and try to adjust to a changing climate when electronics is going exponentially is very difficult. That has been the biggest challenge since the early 90s, to try to maintain a business, to keep the cash flow, to give service, to understand that people don't shop, buy the way they used to. The climate is totally different, and it's not good or bad. It's just the way it is. So that's been the hardest thing for me. Now I've only been in the store regularly since 2010, because I always did something else in the school system or farm or whatever. But so kind of had to do that off base too. That made a big difference. And then the old building. The building is older. When it was built in the 1890s, I had to retuck all of the brick in the back, and I had to put a new roof on. Just this week, I put insulation on the roof because it had none.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't realize that it had none, and so I blew foam on the insulation, and all that stuff is pretty expensive.
So, so obviously a lot of your business has to do with churches. I've often heard that we in Washington County have like over 75 churches.
At one time, I counted 133 churches in Washington County.
Are some of those little churches? Are we losing some of those little churches?
There's not that many now, but there's still up around 100.
There still is that many.
Yes, but many of them now are our age and not younger.
Yes.
And they are down to 20 or 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
Churches were much of my business when I started in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Not much now.
Oh, okay.
Not much now. It's individuals. I am much more concerned about the people who come in who, I just had a guy this morning that came in and said, I've been clean drugs for 2 years. Great. That's what I want to do, is support those guys. Mm-hmm. And have a safe place for them to come in, safe place for them to say, hey, what should I get? What do I need? What can help me? Yeah.
Give me something that can help me stay on this road.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And encourage him to tell the other guys, hey, you can do this. Yeah. That's kind of why it's there. Yeah.
That's
and
great.
so far, God's given me enough money to keep it open. So
That's wonderful. That's great. So the courthouse is the main part of our Salem Square,
Yeah.
but really a lot of our buildings around, like yours, are older than the courthouse.
that's right. Yeah.
And so the maintenance is another issue
Maintenance is an issue.
and that can be there.
Yeah.
And
The building's pretty solid. When I got in, I really had to rewire it all, and it still is not good as it should be. But it's much better. I mean, it's up to code, obviously, but it's not as good as it should be. There's just certain things you can't do because it's old.
it's an old building.
Yeah.
And old buildings are really interesting and awesome, but they have their challenges.
They have their challenges. Yes, they do.
Okay, well, John, thank you very much for being part of our 40 years of celebrating, and you're at you said 81, so you're going to be at the 50-year mark here pretty soon.
A little bit. We're at 44 now. I guess.
So.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. But thank you. This has been really good. I've enjoyed this very much, Rebecca.
So we're going to be visiting with more people around the Salem Square, and so check with us again at our next podcast and get some wellness in your life.